And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stan. Let's try that again. I had a bit of a technical issue, if those of you were watching live in the previous one, but we have sorted it out. Guys, we got a huge announcement with regard to Advance UK. Some massive news, in fact. And Advance UK, of course, emerged a couple of months ago, and they have came on leaps and bounds. Had a lot of public endorsement over the last 2 months already, and are really, really skyrocketing. Now, it's beautiful to see another party as well, of course, hold Reform UK to account. Now, there's a split, not a split directly within the right, but a lot of people don't like what Advance are trying to do inside there. But then there's a ton of people saying, actually, this is more for me. Now, Advance UK have they're around at 25,000 members, and we know what happens at 30,000 members, and they are going to be officially launching on the 27th of September. And in fact, let's go to Ben Habib and listen to what he has to say with regard to this. But as always, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more British content, and do get involved in the live chat. I want to see your reactions, and we'll get to it in a little while. But here's what Ben Habib had to say for this big announcement.
Good morning, folks. I'm very pleased this morning to be announcing 3 things on behalf of Advance UK. The first is this. We are now just shy of 25,000 members. Now, you might recall that I had set a hurdle for the party of 30,000 members before we applied to the Electoral Commission for registration as a full political party. And I'd done that to make sure that actually there was a desire in the country, not just in my mind, but a desire in the country for a new political force. Well, it is remarkable that within a couple of months, we're knocking on the door of that 30,000 target. The second thing that I want to announce, given the confidence I have that we will be reaching 30,000 in our membership, that we will formally therefore be launching the party on the 27th of September, by which date I'm sure we would have got to the magic figure, 27th of September in Newcastle. And it is symbolic that we are launching the party in Newcastle. Firstly, because Newcastle is one of those deprived areas which could be so much, much better if our government actually cared about levelling up and stopped talking about it and started doing it. But also, really, this is Newcastle, the northeast of England, that's the area that represents the heart and soul of this country's desire to eject the supranational order, an ejection which is entirely supported by Advance UK. We cannot be a democratic country unless we get rid of the shackles of institutions like the EU and so on. And you might recall that brilliant night, 23rd of June 2016, when we began to get an inkling that the nation had voted to leave the EU, when the result from Sunderland came in and surprised the commentariat. There was a vote, a massive vote to leave the EU. So it's absolutely right that the launch of our party, which is so against the supranational order and so pro-democracy in the country, should launch in the northeast of England. And then the third thing that I'm really pleased to announce, and I think it's going to be the first of such announcements, I expect there to be a string in due course, is the joining of Advance UK by 5 brilliant former chairman of Reform UK branches in the northeast of England. And they are Paul Milburn, Councillor Steve Holt, so we get our first councillor, Gordon Fletcher, Damien Heslop, and Councillor Sam Woods-Brass, which gives us our second councillor. And it's terrific to have them because they're all seasoned in what they do, but they bring with them also seasoned campaigners. The very army that we're going to need in the northeast of England to fight the general election when it comes in 2028 or 2029. And as I say, this is going to be the first of such announcements. I'm already in touch with many, many people, just like the ones who've joined Advance UK, bringing with them their teams from across the country. So in a couple of months, a couple of short months, Advance UK has gone from effectively not existing to already becoming a formidable force in politics. I have no doubt that over the next few years we will grow our reach, we will grow people's recognition of Advance UK, and that we will be a political force with which the main parties are going to have to contend. And we will unashamedly stand our ground, proudly and robustly stand our ground for the nation state of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, the freedom of our people, including freedom of speech, democracy and equality under the law. And so I'm delighted first to introduce Councillor Steve Holt, who in his own words will set out why he's joined Advance.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Steve Holt. I'm resigned chair of Reform UK. I've been asked to say a few words regarding my resignation and joining of Advance UK. I didn't resign from Reform to join Advance. I fell out with Reform some time ago when I resigned basically as a branch chair, and latterly I've resigned as a party member. It seems that the Reform can no longer take the line that I do, and I don't think they can deliver what I'm really looking for. Advance, on the other hand, can. In actual fact, it's all about me. It's all about my beliefs and what the important things in life are for me. Primarily nation, freedom, democracy, and probably one of the most important things is equality under the UK law. As an ex-magistrate, I believe in this greatly. I think it's a cornerstone or foundation of our system, basically. Of course, it doesn't trump nation, which is really up there, because I want my nation's sovereign state back. Really, I really believe, right, that we're on the cusp of losing our identity in the UK, and basically, I just want our sovereign state back. I want my country back. And that's all I've got to say at the moment. I look forward to more people joining Advance. It's a movement which is growing even more rapidly than Reform was several years ago. You might dwell on that, be on the side of a winner. Also, right, I can't see the fundamental principles of Advance changing like it seems like they have with Reform. Anyway, have a good day, and hope to see some of you soon. Bye.
And I'm pleased to introduce Councillor Sam Woods-Brass, who will also say in his own words why he's joined Advance.
Over the past few weeks and the past few months, it's been very hard to avoid the argument that is ongoing of UK politics. A lot of people feeling politically homeless, a lot of people losing their sense of identity, and those that are willing to challenge those on their beliefs. However, I do agree there are some sitting outside of what is acceptable, but there are those that feel frightened to speak up because of the fear of the discourse that would come from sharing their opinion. Now, there's been an important phrase that's been shared from UK politicians, particularly in a discussion in America about the UK's stance on freedom of speech. A lot of the political parties would like to say they support and endorse freedom of speech. However, Advance UK is the only party that I personally believe will represent you in those arguments, to share the positivity with it that is patriotism, and to feel that sense of pride and identity again from representing your family, your community, your legacy, and your heritage. That is something that I personally feel strongly about, and that's something that I personally support and endorse, which is why I made the informed decision to support and join as a member for Advance UK.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for listening.
So yeah, to conclude there, I suppose, as I said, they have just reached 25,000 members, and the party's officially going to launch on the 27th of September in Newcastle. They've also, of course, seen 5 former Reform UK branch chairmen join the party as well, and of course there is said to be more announcements along the way. But this is a huge announcement, I suppose, for Advance. Again, they're going to be an official party. Which is a very big feat, of course. Now, Tommy Robinson, other notable figures, we've seen Elon Musk come out and support Advance UK publicly. And we've also seen, of course, Tommy Robinson come out and support them publicly as well. And Tommy Robinson released a video, I think, 2 days ago, talking about how and why he joined rejoined Advance UK. Let's have a little watch of this.
Good morning, folks.
I thought I'd put out a video about Advance UK, make a few things clear. I want to let people know why I joined, but also to make it clear, it's not my party, okay? I'm not running it. I don't want to be involved in party politics, if I'm honest. I'm just a member amongst tens of thousands of others. Why did I join? I joined because of everything I saw with Ben Habib. Everything he says is exactly what this country needs. He stands for the United Kingdom, for British values, for British people. And he won't bend the knee to the establishment. He knows what a border is, and he knows what freedom means, and he knows what a woman is. And I joined because I know several other people at the heart of Advance UK. People who have helped and supported me for years behind the scenes are in the heart and the inner circle of Advance UK. I wholeheartedly trust them. I don't trust many people, I trust them. So I'll ask you now, okay? Please sign up for Advance UK. You can do so at the link I'm putting here. We all need, as a movement, I've been saying it for years, we need a political home, a political voice for our movement. Of course, in the last election, we end up with Labour and a cabinet full of clowns. Everyone knows they're not for the working people. They're lining their own pockets and destroying our country faster than Karl Marx could have ever imagined. People have had enough. Look at what's happening now. Look at the revolution that's brewing across Britain. Even look at Raise the Flags campaign. Labour are finished. Keir Starmer is finished. They know it. They've lost a big chunk of the Muslim vote in the last election because they weren't marching often enough for Hamas. And they'll lose many more as people join Hezbollah, Corbyn's new Islamophilia party. And that's why the Labour Party wants 16-year-olds to be able to vote. It's going to backfire on them. The youth always rebel. Young people are smarter than Labour think. And as for reform, I've got to go there. Well, they were the only option for the last election. But they aren't who people think they are. Reform tells us Britain can take more immigrants. Net zero is their immigration policy. Net zero was their immigration policy, okay? That meant last year 500,000 British people left. They could, and their policy was to take 500,000 immigrants in. From where? Afghanistan, Somalia, Iraq, Iran, who knows where? They tell us we can't deport people entering the country illegally.
We're talking about hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants are in Britain at the moment. Do you support deporting all of those people?
It's impossible to do. Literally impossible to do. For us, at the moment, it's a political impossibility.
But is it your ambition?
No. So it's pointless even going there.
Or did he change his position on that? Flip-flop Farage keeps changing his position. It's hard to keep up. They tell us we can't alienate Muslims because of the growing Muslim demographic. By 2050, they'll be superior to us. That's not objective, Nigel. Just stand up and be proud of Britain and stand up for British values. That's what we need to do.
We have a Muslim population in Britain growing by about 75% every 10 years. Right? That's just where we are. Mm-hmm. If we politically alienate the whole of Islam, we will lose.
We need to prevent the Islamic demographic getting to that point. They also say, Nigel's words, there'll be more left-wing than the Tories by the next general election. They're okay with trans women, men, in women's prisons. And they're okay with digital ID. And that really is the end of our freedom.
What do you feel about ID cards, digital ID cards? Is that something that Reform UK would support?
Well, look, I personally don't have a problem with an ID card. You know, I don't see what the issue is. We can all be tracked now if somebody wants to track us.
And we're all discarded as that lot. That's what annoys me. Our entire movement that lot. We don't want anything to do with that lot.
Tommy Robinson, people have been protesting in his name. What do you make of Tommy Robinson? Is he a good guy in your eyes?
No. All of that lot, we have nothing to do with them.
Even the protesters who have got banners up saying two-tier Keir, you agree with them on the policing and justice?
We agree with ourselves. I'm not aligning ourselves with Tommy Robinson's lot in any shape or form.
And we've all watched with interest as Zia Youssef comes and goes at Reform. On some days he appears to be running the whole show. And then he's busy lighting fires that no one else seems to know what to do about. The whole thing is a mess. But finally now, and it's needed because otherwise Reform won't budge on their policies, there is now an alternative to all other parties. That is Advance UK, led by Ben Habib. It's the only party that stands unconditionally for free speech. It's the only party that is proud of our Christian traditions, culture and values. It stands for the British people. Strong borders, no two-tier justice. And if we want better government, we're going to have to vote for it. There were nearly 20 million people in the last general election who could have voted but didn't vote. That's twice as many people as voted for Labour, didn't vote. So that's what we need to, as a cultural movement and as a political movement, reach out to the non-voters, the working class, the forgotten, the neglected people. So 2 things from me. If you're not registered to vote, please get registered. There's a link below to the government website. It's pretty simple. And please, once again, join Advance UK and join Ben Habib. It's just a tenner. It's the only political option, the only hope. We need to galvanise, we need to electrify. We've got 3 years to the next election. We need to electrify the working class, electrify the British forgotten people, the neglected people. Let's give them a home. They have a political home. They have a home in the United Kingdom, and now they have a political home with Advance UK. Make sure you join.
So there you go. That's what Tommy has, of course, said. That came out a couple of weeks ago that he publicly joined Advance UK, and yeah, we're starting to see things emerge with them. So some big news, of course, with regard to them. That was a huge announcement from Ben Habib. 27th September, officially launching as a party. And again, I can already see here in the live chat. I was looking at the live chat a little bit, and some people are split. The main thing that I see quite a lot, guys, is a lot of people saying this is going to split the vote. No, I think Labour are already destroying themselves anyway. And you've got to remember the left are currently splitting, right? So Labour aren't getting the Islam vote. They're not getting the other votes because of your party, Jeremy Corbyn's party. You know, it's already being split over that side as well. Labour ain't going to be getting into power regardless. So yeah, I don't think it's a massive problem. Again, look, to say, you know, with reform, I don't have any problems with reform as such. Just a few things that they're flip-flopping over, a few things that just don't sit well with me. But currently, at this moment in time, if a general election is called, they're the best option, of course, to get into power. However, that doesn't mean that they don't need to be held accountable for something else. And Advance UK is certainly a different option. Thank you for becoming a member, by the way, Vixter. What a legend. Thank you very much. I am a member. I joined yesterday. I'm seeing a lot of people joining the memberships as well, which is fairly interesting. It'll be interesting to see how big this political party goes. Ireland says, I don't trust Farage. A lot of people don't trust him, weirdly enough, as well. Blue, Fintuna Roll, if we can get Advance UK to have enough of a chance, then full steam ahead. I hate how Reform don't want reform and are lying about doing anything. See, that's where people kind of stand. I think a lot of people want different options, whether that may be. And to be fair, Advance certainly gives that right this second. So we'll be following their growth as a party. Of course, we'll still be covering what Reform are doing as well, but we'll be following it all. And yeah, I'll be interested to see what materializes from the 27th of September, especially with players in the game like Elon Musk who have been vouching for this political party. But guys, that brings us to the end of today's video. As always, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll be back a little bit later on. Of course, we've got a few things to discuss today. But yeah, I'll